So are there any other requirements we didn't cover in order, we talked about being complete with our parents. What were the others that you had?
Yeah, what it is the romantic stage is a real serious disease.
This long in the relationship.
And I don't even want to call the romantic phase a relationship itself, because in that romantic phase, everything is taking you over.
Yeah, and it's so amazing. It's so in tandem with the brain research now, because they know that's when we get the serotonin and all the happy neurotransmitters released. So you're not even yourself, so to speak, during that stage, right?
Yeah, and most people go into committed relationships and marriages coming from the romantic phase.
And expecting it.
That it will be there forever, and not realizing that it will disappear from months to maybe 2 or 3 or 4 years, which is long for that romantic stage to be active and turned on, so to speak. But yet people make promises and vows to each other in the romantic stage. And the present paradigm of relationship suffers out of it. Because even when you're married, it looks like there's something wrong because the romantic stage is not present, when in fact there's nothing wrong. So the romantic stage would move you to a stage of commitment, and in the commitment you begin to understand the richness of who I am, who you are, who we are together as a dynamic couple in the I'm committed to you, committed to me relationship, where now brings commitment to a whole other world. And so even though it might not be hot necessarily or tempestuous or turned on sexual, there's a richness, there's a flavor, there's an experience.
And a depth.
And a depth that's profound. Now, the problem when you move into a committed relationship is, now here's where the big issue is, soon as you get into a committed relationship and we're committed and we're married, all the places that you are not committed reveals itself. Because you said, however you said it, in sickness and health till death do we part.
Right.
So what those vows or commitments or promises were, you're now literally going to test yourself. Or the universe is going to test you where you're not complete, where you said that you're going to...
So say more about that.
Sure.
So you're saying, so let me just see if I can repeat it.
Sure.
So you are saying once you get into a committed relationship, and we're going to call that
What will surface
is every other area that you're
that
not
you are not complete with yourself and with me.
in the relationship.
In the relationship.
Okay.
And yet you think there's something wrong now because what happened here? We were so in love. We said this is now and forever.
Yeah.
And yet it feels like you're not the woman I married. And certainly I'm not the man you married. Like as if I'm different now than I was before. But not really. But we are testing ourselves. And we are being tested in a way to, rather than embrace the differences and recreate or repromise the commitments.
Or do the work.
What is necessary while you're in the committed relationship, a chasm develops. It looks like we outgrown each other. It appears to be, I don't like that part of you. I'm definitely no longer, what's this latest phrase? I love you, but I'm not in love with you.
Yeah.
Give me a break. You're still very much the same person. I'm the same person, but where we evolved to where we're incomplete in this supposed committed relationship is no longer available to us. So the key is what is there after a committed relationship? So there's family, there's friendship, there's romance, there's commitment, and then there's everlasting. And everlasting is not common. And everlasting is rare.
Yeah.
And people who can actually go through all the phases and all the iterations and reveal and open up all aspects of where we're committed and not committed, now have an opportunity to move into an everlasting relationship.
And what does that look like? So give us some...
Well, an everlasting relationship would start off with, for sure, being able to embrace each other's differences, for sure. Everlasting in terms of our differences, we'd be able to laugh at our differences and play with it. Everlasting is our life is about us keeping our word, honoring our word to ourselves and to each other. So the vows that we made, that you and I are in this as life partners forever and ever, and that I said that to you and you said that to me, can create the context of an everlasting relationship. And in that relationship, I get to discover myself at a depth, at a level that would not have existed, even if I stood, I'm complete with family, I went through the friendship, I went through the romance, I went through the commitment. Now our relationship is at a whole other realm. Now I'm learning about you and me as if there would be no way I could possibly learn it.
And that's when the wonder would be present. I talk about the wonder a lot. That's where just you're not relating to each other as, oh, there's Martin, the guy I've been married to forever that I know. You're in an everlasting context, which would be, I don't know you at all. You're a discovery.
Very good. So one of the things I tell couples who are getting married, well, one of the first things I tell couples when they're getting married is, tell me how you're going to be with each other when you're no longer married. And of course,
that must set off some
grenades. It pulls the rug out from under them. Because I want them to see that as a possibility. But inside the everlasting relationship, we're talking about me loving you from a place that there's more about you I do not know than I do know. And I'm excited.
I've never heard you say that before. That's really good.
I'm excited about being in love with someone that I don't know, because the more I discover about you that I don't know, the more I discover about myself.
And isn't that like the beginning of the romance? Isn't that, it's not...
No, the romance is being run by all kinds of hormones and testosterone and pictures and images of what it is to be in love.
Yes. But this other realm of wonder...
what you're talking about, wonder, is wonder because there's nothing that's a given that this is the way it is, or this is the truth.
Yes.
It's such a discovery of who you are for me to discover who I am. And I'm so excited about that, that the more I get into the deepest part of you and you feel so safe and so in relationship with me, that you open up parts of yourself beyond the physical realm. You open up parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed.
The why around why understanding that women point, men lead. Women point, men lead, women follow and manage. I just want to, that's kind of a related point to the everlasting that I wanted to touch on.
Yeah, well,
you mentioned it, but we didn't.
In an ideal scenario, the woman would be speaking to a vision, to a future that clearly empowers each of us and both of us, pointing to the future. And me as a man...
Is it the woman or is it the female quality?
It is the female energy inside the body, the sex of the woman.
Okay.
But yet that female energy is something that's powerful within you. You're engaged in that energy, that you're inspired by your female energy. You're not frightened about your female energy. You love and embrace your female energy.
But men can be referred to as great visionaries.
Let's call them great visionaries who can build. Let's call the woman a great visionary who can actually see and paint the picture where the man said, I like that and I'm going to build that in action, in the physical realm, in an artistic way. I'm going to build what you just saw and pointed to. And then you, in turn, will empower me to take the lead and build, and simultaneously be supporting and empowering me in building it in increments, slowly and surely, encouraging and motivating me. So you're both managing me and you're empowering me to be the great leader I am, to create something from nothing in the universe to something extraordinary.
So you really do believe behind every great man is a great woman?
Or we could say behind every great man is the woman inside him, creating that great man as a total great man, because there is no longer a separation of female male. He is now as totally human being as possible.
Or that's our pursuit in the world that we're in transformation, is to get to the point. Because I wouldn't say that's how it is for every man right now or every
Well,
woman.
I'm going to say that every woman and man have female and male energies in them, even at a scientific, physiological level.
For sure, but in terms of the possibility we're talking about, because I'm
But
not sure.
most people are not at the level of where they could tap into it at a conscious level. Yet the more we would speak about it, the more we would declare peace among all women and men, the more you'll begin to see those female and male energies merge to where there is only one. And the 100 literally disappears into the extraordinary entity that we are as a human being.
And do you feel like you have this kind of marriage that we're talking about?
I am always evolving and learning and having a breakdown and breakthrough.
Yes.
And the arguments sometimes are shorter and briefer, and the discovery in the arguments are amazing. And we could switch sides in the argument. I can now argue her point, and she could argue my point, and all of a sudden we see something we never even saw before.
Yeah.
Because I went into her world, and I saw, of course, now I understand, because I just argued for you. Now I understand why you're pointing it that way. And I couldn't before, because I could only see and understand it my way.
There was a couple other things in the book that I wanted to point to. You say in the book, the focus of it will be the primary relationship of a woman and a man who are committed but not fulfilled. But the underlying one you'll be working on is the relationship with yourself. The relationship with the woman inside you and the man inside you, no matter what gender you might be. So, I mean, we've covered that a lot, but I just want to make sure I took you to your word that what you have in the book, and that we made sure we understood exactly what you were saying.
Yes. Yet, let's just say the greater I am able to empower your world, there's no way that I am not growing simultaneously.
Whether male, female, and
Yes.
yes. Okay, good.
Yes.
Okay, I think that'll resonate for the beautiful yous out there.
Yes.
Because it's different. I mean, it's not, I'm not sure in our current way of being with one another, at least in the West, that we're programmed that way. I think we have another way of being that's our proclivity.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's kind of like the Marianne Williamson refers to as the transactional relationship. Like, what am I here to get from me?
Yeah, well, that's what I refer to as a quid pro quo relationship. I'll give you as much as you're giving me. I'll trust you as much as you're trusting me. So most trust that occurs is conditional trust. Rarely do you have a couple that trust themselves to trust each other unconditionally.
Or people. I mean, not just a couple.
For sure.
Or people.
Yeah,
Right.
we do not fundamentally trust. Or we think, well, it's got to take a long time. Or it's got to be a certain kind of character or personality that I could trust.
Right.
And that all really points to me not trusting myself, so I can't trust that other person.
Right, or trusting even something, I mean, in my own process, I can see that I've really had to trust for myself that there is something higher working. And, you know, I don't, whatever it is for someone, I don't prescribe to universe, source, God, whatever it is, but that which is higher working that has me trust.
Yes.
Trust, like, you know, all is well. I love that term, all is well.
Yes.
I would love to know from a kind of what now perspective, because we've talked a lot about what gender balancing is. We've talked about why it's important. We've talked a little bit about how to get there. But, you know, if someone is listening to this and kind of just doesn't even know where to start, you know, when you get couples that come to you and it's a really dirty kitchen of morass of stuff going on, like, where do people start with this inquiry, with this endeavor? You know, kind of you can give us the what now, you know, some steps.
You mean when they're in all the stuff, all the...
If it's a really messy kitchen with their masculine and feminine, and whether
Are you
yourself,
using messy kitchen as a,
as
a
an
metaphor
analogy for
of all the stuff that's going on in
so
their relationship?
overwhelming. I don't know whether I'm male. I don't know whether I'm female. I don't know what's going on in my marriage. I don't like him or her very much. Like, it's not going that well. Like, where do you start?
I think where you start is you take one principle in your relationship. Like, let's just say it's about that whatever we say that we're going to do in our relationship, whatever I promise you I'm going to do, whatever you promise me that you're going to do, is we start off with that we're going to keep our word with each other.
Oh, so like the integrity is the integrity and keeping your word is a baseline.
Yeah, but I'm saying
That's
to
great.
start off with it with powerful baby steps.
Yes.
Like with time and fundamental agreements that we both make, that
Like,
we begin
I'm
to...
going to be here. I'm going to meet you at 4, show up at 4.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing that that's where you're saying to start, because we try to go so conceptual, and couples get into therapy, and there's a huge rate that I've just heard recently of couple therapy not working. Like very high percentage of couples that get into therapy actually end up breaking up.
Yeah.
And because I've never heard what you just said, that like start with the basics, like the integrity conversation.
Well, because in our relationship, being in a committed relationship or being married, there's nothing more that you want from me is for you to trust me. See, if you trust me unconditionally, and I trust you unconditionally, wow, what an opening for us to create an amazing relationship in life, because we trust each other.
And they create certainty.
We like, the trust the trust in itself is a love story. You can even see with kids when they trust each other.
Yeah.
There's something that permeates of love.
Yeah, absolutely.
That trust.
It's amazing.
And in relationships as they exist today, that trust is not common. It's uncommon.
Yeah. So once you start focusing on integrity as your baby step.
Well, you're saying integrity, and it is integrity, but I'm saying that we could trust each other in keeping our word.
Yes, okay, right. And then what would you say is the next step?
After that, to begin to step out and begin to risk yourself where you ordinarily would not have risked yourself because you didn't trust yourself to trust another. So I would risk myself in my speaking, in my questions, in my requests, in my actions. And you'd actually see other parts of me come out because I so trust you. The trust and trust building is critical and vital. And yes, that's all inside integrity, because as soon as I stop keeping my word with you and you stop trusting me, it will devolve.
It's so good. I just had such a breakthrough. Thank you. It's
Yeah.
really, really just awesome. Not that I've not had that conversation before, but I realize in my own marriage and relationship where I just forget, you get sloppy.
Well, as soon as you start building up a residual of not keeping your
Yes.
word,
It starts
that
breaking
becomes,
down the trust.
well, more than that, becomes a way of being.
Yes.
It looks like that this is the way it is with everyone. Well, I can't always keep my word. Who said so?
Okay, so once we're at that place of building trust, integrity's back in. I know integrity's a mountain with no top, so I know that that's an ongoing process. What would you say is after that?
After the integrity is in? Well, I mean, in our relationship, we want to be philosophically aligned. So we'd have to really look
So
at
we
our
look at
life.
your values?
Yeah, but even deeper. Where are we at in regard to our relationship to family, to children? Where are we at in our relationship to monogamy or not? Where are we at in our relationship to building our future? Where are we? It could even be where we are in our respective relationship with God.
Yeah.
Because if I believed in God and you didn't believe in God, it could cause there's a good chance it's going to cause a breakdown or difficulties.
So
we'd have to look and see It doesn't mean that it doesn't mean that we're the same. It doesn't even mean that there's a lot of things that we're not very different about. but that philosophically we're aligned.
And would you look then at your vision and your, you know, your values, your purposes?
Definitely,
And see if there's a
definitely.
Yeah.
I would say couples who are now creating everlasting relationships, they're putting it all out on the table, including what an idealistic future would look like for them.
Okay, and is there anything else that you would?
Yeah, well, the communication is the pathway to everything, certainly to love. So the communication would have to be that you are so conscious of being willing to share yourself without any compartmentalization, without any secrets, that you would be able.
Full communication.
It is full communication, especially something that's important to you. There may be things that are not important to you, but if you're thinking about it or indulging in it, or it's a priority, or it seems like a secret, that would be awesome to just open that conversation up. Because it's, again, trusting yourself to trust you.
And what I loved about kind of what we just went through is if you are in a relationship with yourself, owning your own gender balancing, male and female, you could actually follow the same process.
Absolutely.
It's not just with another.
You mean
it's-
trusting within?
Yeah, trusting, you know, you start with your integrity with yourself, and then you go through the stages we just discussed
Well said.
in relationship with yourself, because, you know, if we're trying to balance ourselves, we would start here and then reach out into our
Yes.
marriages, right? Or partnerships.
By the way, I'm noticing I'm falling more and more in love with
Me too, Martin.
you. You
I
said
wanna-
that too fast. I heard. Did you really
Yes,
get that?
I got it.
But the conversation would have us feel closer, more trusting,
Yes. and
more
communication.
inside the moment, and we could literally go anywhere and everywhere here.
So true, and now we're going to, because I would love to hear, what I'm going to do is say one or two words which begin a sentence, and I just want you to finish the sentence, and this is just whatever comes to mind, okay?
Sure.
Your improv. You are.
Magnificent and wonderful.
Values are.
God, family, and making a difference in people's lives.
Truth is.
I love people.
Relationships are.
An extraordinary possibility to create amazing, amazing realities in life.
Marriages are.
Great when they are.
God is.
A context for my life.
Love is.
Always seeking.
I still have yet to achieve.
Having world peace among all women and men, that I actually impacted it where that is on the world agenda for everyone.
And my life is about.
Living my life fully, leaving my imprint, however unique it is, in this lifetime, and cherishing the gift that is to be alive.
Oh, beautiful. Namaste. Thank you for being
Thank
here
you.
today.
Thank you.
You know, you made a tremendous difference in, I want to say my life, but it's really my heart and my soul. And I thank you for our friendship, your wisdom always, and for being here.
Wow.
And your messaging to the world. It's extraordinary.
Thank you so much. Thank you for being the great woman that you are. Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
So thank you for being here with the extraordinary Martin Cohen. Please go to Alexandra Joy TV and subscribe if you haven't. Go ahead and make sure you get your copy of Gender Balancing. You can find it on Amazon now, you right?
Yes.
And you will see Martin's website at the bottom of the screen to get more of his wisdom in your life. Thank you. Remember, as I always say, be present to the wonder. The wonder is everywhere.